The Cosmere RPG for Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn world comes from an author whose legions of autistic fans are unmatched in their shallowness as well as their fanaticism. When a fantasy author is mostly renowned for the magic system he created, you know it is likely trash, and he is worshipped by fans who laugh at inferior magic systems like that of J.K. Rowling, despite her book series being 100 times more successful than Sanderson's. Anyway, since making a tabletop RPG for your successful book series is par for the course nowadays, no matter how mechanically uninspired it may be, Sanderson has done the same. But of course, it must be filled with the typical social justice disclaimers that waste paper and leave a stain and blight on the rest of the book. Of course, we must have a session 0, that precious fucking thing, and it must include discussion of what content is acceptable in the game. Needless to say, if you are made a bit uncomfortable by a D&D session, you should just suck it the fuck up for a few times and then maybe bring it up if it's a problem. That is how normal people handle social transgressions. But of course, the proper way to do it in 2024 is to have an open discussion about how much we want to discuss slavery, torture, and interracial butt sex in our fantasy game where we pretend to be elves, or singers, as the indigenous race of Roshar is called, Sanderson's world for this game. Oh, and we must discuss what kind of horror movies we like and are okay with. And God forbid, we talk about people with disabilities. If a character loses an arm, that might be a trigger for a player whose great uncle lost an arm as well. Obviously, if a player has lost a family member to cancer, it would be an extremely poor taste to have their game character afflicted with cancer as well. But that should be obviously to anyone who isn't a full-blown autistic or outright psychopath. Yes, I need an RPG book to tell me that we need to discuss how far we want to go with sex scenes in our game. How about just omitting all sexual discussion from the book entirely? Why does this dogshit merit discussion? Nothing on this page is anything people couldn't think of themselves. Oh, and gender identity. Sanderson's world apparently passively supports gender transition, as the magical forces of the world automatically cause your penis to fall off if you are actually a woman deep inside. The question is, if the all-powerful deific forces knew you were a woman this whole time and created you as a man, why did they not just create you as a woman in the first place and save all that effort? There's a lesson to be learned here, but it can't be spoken about on YouTube, as it wouldn't be kosher to do so. And of course, speciesism. It's like racism, but for people who can't crossbreed. God forbid there be racism in a game. This used to be a common thing back in the D&D 3.5 days. Has anyone even seen a person in real life get angry at depictions of fantasy racism? Or does it only come from freak shit-loving hipster retards and coastal homo degenerates from the West Coast? Either way, it's worthless as a discussion point. It is only because of the post-2010 culture shift that this is even considered a problem at all. Oh, and slavery. Slavery in a game about brutally killing monsters as well as other people, that is truly a difficult topic. Yes, slavery is bad, but no one in a tabletop RPG has actually suffered through slavery. No, your great-grandma being a slave doesn't count. There is no such thing as generational trauma. Shut the fuck up. No, I don't care about weight gain habits in the children of famine survivors. That is not relevant here, and you know it. Oh, but we must not discuss slavery. Okay, fine. Then why are you bringing it up in this book here? So that is Sanderson's tabletop RPG, a shallow game made for a quick buck and to reinforce social justice warrior ethics. This trash will sell a few thousand copies, then be tossed onto the trash heap of history. It will be played by some of Sanderson's hardcore fans, but that's about it. And this smug prick, apparent from his love for virtue signaling, will self-congratulate that he is now a game designer, as well as an author of a book series about magical minutiae that may or may not contain a single compelling character. And you might ask, why does anyone care? Why even bring this up? Because low-effort garbage like this is dragging down game design. Despite the horde of cancerous imitators it unleashed, Vincent Baker created a compelling narrative system with Apocalypse World. It was a real innovation in game design, a synthesis of many existing elements, something that actually affected the game being played. Whereas any idiot could have designed a Mistborn homebrew for D&D. We don't need a separate set of rules for it. But of course, we must have one because everyone needs to be a game designer now, even if they have none of the talent required to do so.